Welcome back, everybody, to the Oviedo League Cup here at Versus Games in Oviedo, Florida. We've been through 2 rounds so far, Adit, and now we're going to send into round 3.
Right, and I believe this is going to be the first round we see one of the more interesting restricted Pokemon.
Interesting restricted Pokemon. I gotta say, my interest is now peaked.
Yes, I believe we will be seeing Terapagos.
Ooh, we get to see the turtle?
Yes, Terapagos is a very interesting Pokemon as it was released in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Just to be clear, though, you don't have the bag with Terapagos in it like Liko in the anime.
I wish. Man. That Terapagos is so cute, Pagogo.
Oh my god, it's so good. And if you guys haven't seen the Pokemon Horizons anime, go take a shot at it. It's really good. And actually, new episodes are coming out very soon in the US.
Yes, I'll say that the cast is stacked. It's a very fun watch, actually.
The music could be a little bit better, though, in our neck of the woods. But that's just an opinion.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. I really think the Japanese Pokemon anime themes I really enjoy them, but the dub does a good job, I think. Sometimes.
Oh no, they do a great job. And like you said, we're going to see Terapagos in this battle. We're going to get into round 3 here between Matthew Laughlin and Elise Johnson.
Yes, Elise is one of my locals, so I am very excited to see her make her stream debut.
Really? She's a local from your area?
Yes, we all came up together from Fort Lauderdale. Interesting to see that Matthew Laughlin is using the Calyrex Shadow Rider that we've been seeing on stream. There's a reason why Calyrex Shadow is the most used restricted at this event, and it looks like,
this is a very interesting team on Matthew's side. I mean, if we look at it, it is a Citrus Berry Calyrex with Protect, Draining Kiss, Astral Barrage, and Calm Mind. The Incineroar is carrying Will-O-Wisp, which is a 85% accurate move that burns your opponent. No fire type damaging attack. His only damaging attacks are Knockoff and Fake Out. He also has Urshifu Rapid Strike. He has the Rillaboom. He's got Friend Guard Clefairy, which is even more of a problem with a Calyrex Shadow Rider, but he also has Thundurus.
I think that Thundurus is going to pay off dividends here, especially the best way to deal with Terapagos, if you can't break its Terra Shell, lower its stats, and it seems like this Terapagos on Elise's side has no way to protect itself. Now, we have some interesting support pieces. We have the Booster Energy Fluttermane, we have Incineroar, a Choice Scarf Urshifu with Poison Jab, Grimmsnarl, and Volcarona with that Rocky Helmet and Terra Grass probably will do very well into keeping that Terapagos safe. So we'll have to see how this game goes.
Also very interesting to note on Elise's side with her Volcarona, it does have Tailwind, Rage Powder, Giga Drain, and Heat Wave. So there's no Quiver Dance, there's no it does have Giga Drain for recovery, but there's no Quiver Dance, so you don't have an ability to really set up Volcarona and make it that unkillable Pokemon on your side of the field. But interesting on the Terapagos, I mean, yes, the choice specs, it does big damage with Terra Starstorm after the Stellar Terra. Ice Beam, okay, that's there for, the grass types, the dragon types, and maybe a couple of flying types. I think this is the first time I've ever seen Tri-Attack on a Terapagos. Do you know anything about that?
Yes, I think Tri-Attack is a really strong option for, Terapagos that might be locked into who have already terastallized and, just maybe they want to terastallize to remove the terrain or, boost itself a little bit, but Tri-Attack seems like a very safe attack to circumvent that wide guard. If you, let's just say you want to avoid what happened at NAIC for Aurelion.
Okay, yeah, you do make a good point there by having a single target normal type attack, which does still get stat from Terapagos even through the Stellar Terra because it's already a normal type prior. Tri-Attack will still do good damage, and if I remember correctly, it's a 16.6% or like 6% chance of a 20% chance to cause either paralysis, a burn, or freeze.
Right, and that can be very influential if it does proc. And it seems like our trainers are going to be getting into the match very soon. They're locked in. This is going to be the battle of Calyrex versus Terapagos. Very interested to see how this is going to go.
It really is, as we're going to get into game number 1 here between Matthew Laughlin and Elise Johnson. Elise sends out Grimmsnarl and Terapagos. Meanwhile, Matt ends up going with the Incineroar and the Thundurus here. So Thundurus makes an appearance on the field for the first time in this battle.
Yes, I really like Matthew's opening here, being able to have that fake out pressure and ways to really neuter that Terapagos' damage output. It feels like Terapagos is unsafe here no matter what. So this is a pretty precarious situation for Elise. She really has to get that Terapagos out there.
And we do see Eerie Impulse come out on the side of Matthew's Thundurus, sharply lowering the Terapagos' special attack by 2 stages. Grimmsnarl going for a light screen, and Terapagos going for the Ice Beam. It will still do big damage, but not a lot there. And unfortunately, no freeze. But that's the power of the Covert Club.
Yes, it's just very strong positioning by Matthew. Having that, knowing that Elise would probably lead Terapagos, and then having that Eerie Impulse to just constantly neuter its attack, and now it's locked into Ice Beam. This Calyrex is going to be able to be sitting pretty and set up so many nasty plots. Very good positioning by Matthew.
It really is, but we also have to remember this Calyrex is not nasty plot though, it's Calm Mind.
Right, so it's going to be a little bit slower to ramp up than the nasty plot variant, but it should be interesting to see how Elise adapts to this.
Yeah, and when we see how Calyrex is, it could affect the Terapagos here. It could even affect the Grimmsnarl with that Draining Kiss, but we do see Incineroar make an appearance back onto the field once again and lowering the Grimmsnarl's Intimidate while also lowering Terapagos, even though Terapagos doesn't really have much to worry about there. But the Thunder Wave on the Grimmsnarl coming out into the Incineroar slot, which does not work due to Prankster.
Right, and Terapagos is still locked in. That Ice Beam doing more damage than it was before.
And it might actually be very close. It could even knock out this Thundurus on the next hit, potentially.
Right, I think this Terapagos is really ramping up, and ignoring it just seems like it would be ill-advised for Matthew. We'll have to see if damage into Terapagos is going to be put down soon.
I think you're correct, because we also have to worry about the potential of that Terapagos with the Terra Shell ability. Now, it starts out as Terra Shift and goes from its baby form into the terrestrial form that we see currently. Any first attack will always be not very effective here, as we do see a Fake Out come into the Grimmsnarl slot here and a Thunderbolt, so a double up into the Grimmsnarl, doing decent damage, but more importantly, getting a flinch off.
Right, and Volcarona is sitting pretty, being able to maybe knock out this Thundurus with a Heat Wave. It should be, and also if Matthew decides to switch out, it's also going to be able to support this Terapagos in the later stages of the game.
You are exactly right here, because Grimmsnarl is in a good position for Elise as this Thunderbolt comes out and does good damage into Grimmsnarl and gets a paralysis. Once again, a Grimmsnarl gets paralyzed on a Thunderbolt indeed. But
right.
But here comes the Heat Wave. Oh, it survived. The knockoff comes out and Grimmsnarl survives. Does it say paralyzed? We're going to find out here. It does not, and Thundurus goes down.
Yes, this is a really good position for Elise. Having Volcarona and Terapagos online at the same time. Now, we do see this Urshifu here with that Terra Stellar and Focus Sash, similar to what Landon Story was using round 1. Terra Stellar is very good at dealing with Terapagos, basically being able to knock it out even through its Terra Shell, depending on how that Terapagos is trained. It looks like Matthew's going to protect his Urshifu and try to reshuffle.
Potentially try to call a Thunder Wave into that slot, I would think. And it does not matter because Grimmsnarl is paralyzed, but it does give the appearance that it was going for that.
Right, and then we see Tailwind from Volcarona. This is a very very smart play from Elise. Being able,
More importantly, lowering the special attack on Volcarona.
right, yes. This is just excellent positioning. We see Incineroar go for that parting shot onto Volcarona, but it will have to be seen how impactful that is.
It will be very interesting to see because now the Volcarona will be faster than this Calyrex Shadow Rider and the Urshifu, but the Urshifu is able to do big damage alongside the Grimmsnarl here. The Grimmsnarl does have access to potential Thunder Wave, but has to watch out for an Aqua Jet from this Urshifu as Urshifu switches out here back into Incineroar to keep on resetting that Intimidate and Fake Out pressure on Matt's side.
Right. And I think at this point, Elise wants Grimmsnarl to go down here. It's already done its job. It's set up. But we see Matthew going for that Protect.
And we do see a Rage Powder coming out on the side of Volcarona, potentially trying to call a Surging Strikes to activate Flame Body.
Right, and Thunder Wave goes into Calyrex Shadow. Matthew smartly calls the Protect, and we have the Fake Out pressure on this turn.
We also see that there are 2 more turns left of Light Screen on Elise's side by virtue of that Light Clay here. So now it comes down to if a Terra comes out, it does not, and Elise has opted to let Grimmsnarl go down here to at least make sure that Volcarona gets some damage.
We see Calyrex avoiding the Heat Wave. Oh,
Actually, no, it was Incineroar who avoided
okay.
it, but the Calm Mind comes out.
Right, this could be very problematic if Calyrex is left unchecked.
And we do see the Calm Mind raise the special attack and special defense by 1 stage. However, Elise does not have a Pokemon that can handle Elise's Unnerve, which would prevent Calyrex from using its Citrus Berry on her side of the field.
Right.
So now it remains to be seen what this Calyrex is going to opt to go for here, because Incineroar does have access to knockoff on her side of the field, and this could be very interesting what goes on.
Right, and I think the important thing is the sequencing of the terrestrializations. It looks like Calyrex protected itself.
And a knockoff comes out on Elise's side, and it does not do anything to the Calyrex. Meanwhile, a parting shot coming out on the side of Matt's Incineroar to switch out his Incineroar while lowering the power of Elise's Incineroar.
Yes, it's a revolving door of Pokemon, as they like to say in Pokemon Stadium.
It'd be a five-star classic right there. 5-star classic, because they keep on parting shotting each other.
Right, but I think the important thing is Elise does not have Fake Out pressure, and Terrapagos is looking very vulnerable here. So both
It is, but at the same time, Elise does have access to the Stellar Terror on Terrapagos, and a Choice Specs is essentially the same as a +1, so it'll be doing normal damage to that Calyrex here, and it just remains to be seen what is going to happen here, because also, if Calyrex terastallizes, even though it's +1, Choice Specs Terra Stellar is super effective.
right, but we see the double target into Terrapagos. But I think this was a really good switch in for Elise, given what Matthew was locking into.
Exactly here, because we do see Matthew activate his Terra Orb, and he is going to fire it at his Calyrex Shadow Rider, and we saw Calyrex be a little bit evil a few rounds ago with the Dark Terra. Now it's going to be a little bit more lovey-dovey and play into the season with the Fairy type.
Yes. So we see that Draining Kiss go into Volcarona. Important to note, Draining Kiss is a physical move, physical contact move. So it will be taking damage from Rocky Helmet or even getting the burn from Flame Body.
We see the Rocky Helmet, but no Flame Body, and in comes that close combat. Will we see Flame Body this time? Well, first we're going to see the defense drops.
Right.
And there's the Flame Body!
This was exactly what Elise needed to close out the game, potentially.
And Urshifu was hurt by the Rocky Helmet, which does break the Focus Sash as a parting shot comes out into the Calyrex here. A very smart move by Elise to negate the power of the special attacks and get Incineroar out.
Right, I think this is going to be an amazing position for Terrapagos if Terrapagos decides to Terrasilize, being able to do so much damage, and also having its own Intimidate pressure in the back. Maybe preserving this Volcarona would be important on Elise's side, but overall it's looking amazing. Like, this is an amazing position for Elise.
I would say so, because Terrapagos, like we said, it can Terrastalize here, and instead of it being normal effect on Calyrex, it's super effective, and Elise appears to be doing that play. Terrapagos is Terrastalizing, and in comes the Stellar Form Terrapagos, which not only is going to make Terra Starstorm a spread move, it gets extra HP.
Yes, and also redirecting any attacks into preventing close combat or even Surging Strikes from going into that Terrapagos. But we see that Calyrex goes for a Calm Mind, and Surging Strikes goes into Volcarona, taking damage from the Rocky Helmet, making it not long to this world. So we'll have to see.
No, it is not, but the critical hits come out. Volcarona will go down here, and honestly, Terrapagos might pick up Urshifu with the lower defenses and the Stellar Terra and the choice specs. It really comes down to how much Terrapagos is going to do to this Calyrex at +2 special defense. So we're going to find out right now. It's going to do a good amount of damage. It will take down the Urshifu, but Calyrex is going to have the Citrus Berry proc here and regain 25% of its health.
Right, this is a great position for Elise right now, but also it will also come down to whose Incineroar is faster. We have a Calyrex on the field that cannot use Astral Barrage effectively because Terrapagos resists that attack, and we have to see if Matt's Calyrex can set up to a point where this Terrapagos will be unable to do meaningful damage with that Terra Starstorm. Easier said than done.
Easier said than done, but we also know Elise's Incineroar got the Intimidate off first. That could be, in theory, a sign that Elise's Incineroar is faster, or it could just be a speed time.
Okay, we see the fake out into Calyrex.
And a fake out into Terrapagos. So a null and void turn.
Yes, it's looking very... This is just an excellent turn for Elise's side, considering no progress was being able to be made on the opponent. Now, we'll have to see what Matthew locks in for.
Well, here, Matthew opts for the Protect here on the Calyrex to at least keep it around for one more turn. And the Terrapagos goes for the Terra Starstorm. This is going to be choice specs boosted, so it will do good damage to Incineroar here. It really comes down to what Incineroar did on Elise's side. And we're going to see Incineroar goes from 172 to 59. That is big damage. And in comes a Flare Blitz, but it went into the Calyrex Shadow Rider, potentially calling a Draining Kiss into that slot. And in comes a Parting Shot, actually, to lower the power of Terrapagos. So now Terrapagos' attacks will be a neutral damage instead of a +1 with the choice specs.
Right, and we can look at a Matt's screen for a second, and we see it's a +2 special defense and +1 special attack. So it will be seen if the super effective Terra Starstorm will be able to KO this Calyrex. But we see Draining Kiss go into Incineroar, doing a meaningful chunk of damage.
And recovering 75% of the damage dealt. Meanwhile, the opposing Terrapagos on Elise's side uses the Terra Starstorm here. It'll probably send Matt's Incineroar back into its Pokeball with no HP. It does. So now it comes down to what did Elise's Incineroar go for? Did it go for the Flare Blitz again? Did it go for knockoff? It is that Flare Blitz into the Calyrex Shadow Rider, and Shadow Rider survives!
Yes, this Calyrex looks to be very bulky. Note that it was a -1 Incineroar, but it looks like Elise has this game locked up. We'll have to see.
In comes the Draining Kiss once again into the Incineroar to knock it out on a critical hit. Might have mattered. I mean, it's a neutral attack, even with the Terra Fairy. It's a neutral attack.
Right, but this single target super effective Terra Starstorm is looking to send Calyrex back to the Glue Factory.
Oh, not the Glue Factory. but in comes the Terrastar Storm from Elise. Terrapagos picks up game number 1 here. What a performance by the Turtle.
Yes, a very impressive play. Really nice to see Terrapagos kind of... Well, we know Terrapagos has a positive matchup into Calyrex, but it's really nice to see this more unconventional team composition, this really unconventional team composition from Elise be able to kind of overpower Matt's more standard composition.
Exactly, because Matt was trying to get those Calm Minds off here, and he was succeeding, at least from a defensive backbone of his team. He just couldn't get enough special attack boost because Elise's Incineroar managed to get some parting shots off at the precise time. And also Grimmsnarl was trying to get that Thunder Wave off once again, but it also brings to mention Matt tried that Thunderous strategy and it didn't work.
Yeah, maybe Thunderous would have been better in the back, but we'll have to see what adjustments that Matt is going to make. Maybe bring that Clefairy to try to use that Friend Guard ability to boost Calyrex's bulk. And it will be interesting to see if Elise will make any adjustments going into this.
I honestly wonder what kind of adjustments she can make. I do believe that we could see the Rillaboom, maybe even the Clefairy come out, because we have played against Clefairy with Calyrex Shadow Rider. And if you thought that it was difficult to knock out a Calyrex Shadow Rider after 1 Calm Mind boost, try knocking out a Calyrex Shadow Rider after a +1 Calm Mind boost with a Clefairy.
Right, and it doesn't help that Elise's restricted is a special restricted, so it is not going to be enjoying taking that +1. It's not going to be enjoying dealing with that boosted Calyrex.
And we do see Grimmsnarl and Incineroar lead from Elise, and meanwhile it is Incineroar and Calyrex for Matt once again.
Right, I really like both of these leads. One, so this seems like Matthew could go for a fake out Calm Mind, or Elise's Incineroar is faster, so we'll have to see how this goes. But we do see the Clefairy in the back for Matt, so we'll have Clefairy will be, protecting itself from. Will be able to protect that Calyrex from any status conditions by using Follow Me.
And we do see the Clefairy come out. Meanwhile, the Calyrex goes for Protect here. It remains to be seen. Maybe Elise called it, but we do see the Fake Out come out into the Clefairy slot. Does not much damage, but that Thunder Wave comes out into the into the Calyrex Shadow Rider here. Now, what's important to note is that with this Clefairy D, it's not Terra Ground, it's Terra Grass. So while it would be theoretically immune to something like Spore, it's not immune to Thunder Wave.
Yes, it is just, it's very interesting. Elise doesn't have any Pokemon that would theoretically be able to lose. Theoretically would want to. Sorry, Matt doesn't seem to have. Elise's team doesn't seem to have any Pokemon that would really care about the Terra Grass beside that Urshifu, but we see Clefairy go for Follow Me and Calyrex go for a Calm Mind, setting up to kind of just make this Calyrex an impenetrable wall.
Exactly, because in theory, we do see that this Clefairy does have Helping Hand, and Helping Hand does major damage to your opponent or your partner Pokemon's attack into the opponents, and something like an Astral Barrage or Draining Kiss through the light screen with the +1, this Calyrex will be doing major damage.
Right, and important to note, Terrapagos cannot hit Calyrex as long it cannot hit Calyrex with normal Terrastar Storm unless it terastallizes. So Elise is going to have to make a decision.
We do see the attack drop on the Grimmsnarl on the Terrapagos here, and Elise opts for the terastallization into her Terrapagos here, once again making the Stellar Terra Terrapagos come out onto this field, and, well, now we're going to see how much damage it does.
Yes, we see Matt locked in the Protect, so...
And he gets a double Protect on the Calyrex here, I believe.
I believe it was Calm Mind last turn, but
Oh,
we'll have to
right. But he went for the Thunder Wave. It doesn't affect. In comes that Terra Starstorm. Now, because it is now a Stellar type attack, it would affect Calyrex as a
Yes.
Ghost type.
That is the important thing and why that Terastallization had to be spent. We see that Terra Starstorm do a significant amount into Incineroar. Now, we see Fake Out go into the
The Grimmsnarl slot here.
yes, this is just seems to be predicting Elise to switch out, or yeah, so
Potentially, but we do see Draining Kiss come out, and it does good damage into Grimmsnarl there. But in
Right.
comes the Terra Starstorm, and again, it might be +1 on special defense, but this is essentially a neutral attack, and it's going to do good damage into Calyrex, but more importantly, it is not super effective. And now, Clefairy can theoretically come back in and go for Helping Hand.
right. And I think the more important thing for Matt to really do is figure out how he's going to weather this Terapagos. He has Follow Me pressure, but he also, I think he just really wants to knock out this Grimmsnarl.
We do see Grimmsnarl make a switch out here, and in comes Siva, which is that Volcarona once again. So Elise is trying to get that Flame Body activation on Volcarona with the Calyrex here.
And really good prediction into knowing that Grimmsnarl would be the priority for Matt to take down.
And we do see the Rocky Helmet damage come out here. Is there a Flame Body? There is no Flame Body, but this is going to be Friend Guard on top of that +1 special defense here on the Terapagos and the Clefairy, bringing Calyrex down really low, but that was big damage into Clefairy too.
Right, and this seems to be just a great position for Elise, having that Tailwind pressure, that Rage Powder pressure. Just excellent. Excellent.
It really is, because you could, in theory, do what Matt is trying to do. He was going for that Helping Hand at +1 special attack with the Light Screen, and he went Astral Barrage. This does not affect Terapagos, because Terapagos is still a normal type in terms of defensing, but it's a Stellar type in terms of offense.
A critical,
And a
hit
critical
on
hit!
the Volcarona!
Oh my god, Volcarona is down! Oh, that is going to be massive. It really comes down to how much damage Terapagos is going to do here with Terra Starstorm.
We'll have to see.
And it's going to do how much damage here? It could maybe knock out the Clefairy as well. It doesn't knock out either!
Yeah, I think Elise is in a great position right now. But we see her switch in Incineroar, and with a combination of Helping Hand, Draining Kiss, possibly being able to recover to a point where Terra Starstorm will not be able to knock out Incineroar.
It's possible, but at the same time, Matt's in a precarious position here, because if he doesn't Terrastallize, he's in a problem. If he does Terrastallize, he's in a problem, because super effective Terra Stellar or knockoff, but instead it's a Fake Out into the Clefairy to remove the Clefairy. That is a huge play.
Right, and we see that Urshifu in the back for Matt. This actually, I think that critical hit really turned the tide of this game.
It really did, because Urshifu still has access to its Focus Sash here and would be able to live one attack. And, I mean, a close combat and a Draining Kiss probably would do enough to knock out Terapagos here.
I think so, and that seems like what Matt is going to be locked into.
I mean, the other option here is you could, in theory, go for something like a knockoff or a parting shot into the Calyrex here and risk your Urshifu from going down and bringing in the Grimmsnarl to allow Terapagos to come back out.
Yeah, I really like this Terra Fairy here, protecting itself from a knockoff. The Draining Kiss is going targeted into the Terapagos. It does another critical hit. Okay.
And that's going to recover so much damage here on this Calyrex. A close combat comes out and does end up knocking out Terapagos here. And a critical hit to boot. 2 critical hits on the turtle.
Yeah, it just seems like they're tired. They want turtle soup for dinner, so...
Turtle soup?
Yeah, it's just...
No, the turtle is so sexy to eat.
That knockoff doing no damage into Calyrex, even
And
on a critical
hit.
Yeah, so with those critical hits, Matthew was able to turn the tide of the game very quickly. very, very, very unfortunate for Elise.
It is unfortunate because now it is this Calyrex, which is +2 special attack, and it is just in a perfect position to close out this game.
Right, and we see the writing on the wall. Elise forfeits as we go into Game 3.
And once again, we're getting a 3-game set here at the Oviedo League Cup, Adit.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
I'm really happy with the quality of the games we've been getting. I think we're doing a really good job picking that production has really been leading us to the right direction.
I would agree with that 100%. Like, we're watching two of the best trainers in Florida, Matt from the Tampa area, Elise from the Fort Lauderdale area. They are just playing phenomenal against each other, not really giving much of anything. But I think you identified it correctly. I think that critical hit might have mattered because it went through the light screen that Grimmsnarl set up.
Right, and we don't know if that Volcarona is holding a Rocky helmet, so maybe its special defense is not as invested as its defense, but it is holding that Rocky helmet and having Rage Powder, so maybe it is meant to be diverting those physical attacks. So maybe the Helping Hand Astral Barrage was enough to knock it out. We really will never know because of that critical hit.
We really will never know because anything is possible when you play competitive Pokemon. You can have the greatest lead or the greatest core in the back, and it still couldn't be enough.
Yes, but that's why we have this best out of 3 format, because there's always a chance for redemption. There's always a chance to go back.
There really is, and we're going to find out here. One of these two trainers is going to go to 3-0 here. Will it be Matthew Laughlin or will it be Elise Johnson? Let's find out. We're going to game number 3, and we're going to see Grimmsnarl and Volcarona as a lead for Elise, and Clefairy and Incineroar for Matt. A little bit of a change-up on both sides.
Right, this feels like a very passive lead on both sides. This Clefairy has no way to really impact the flow of this game, having After You instead of the more commonly used Sing, or Heal Pulse. So it's just turn is just looking very passive for both of them. Now we see the Helping Hand
to boost the power of the knockoff here potentially, as we do see a Thunder Wave come out into the Clefairy just to make sure that Clefairy could potentially be paralyzed while clicking Follow Me.
Yes, now we see Heat Wave doing not very much damage to both of them. Knockoff looks like it's going to be doing a lot of damage into Volcarona.
Well over 50% there with the Helping Hand boost, but more importantly, it removes that Rocky helmet.
Right, I think Matthew correctly identified Volcarona is very problematic, and knocking it out is very important for his end game.
And Clefairy opts for a Protect here, while Grimmsnarl opts to set up a Reflect on the first time instead of a Light Screen here, as Volcarona goes for a Tailwind.
Yes, I really think that was the correct thing to do. Parting Shot into Volcarona, getting Incineroar off the field, replacing with something more favorable.
Exactly here, because Incineroar switches out, but Volcarona is now -1 on its special attack, so even through the Friend Guard, Volcarona is not going to be doing much damage to any of Matt's Pokemon without switching out.
Yes, and I think that Matt is in just a very good position right now. Having that redirection to redirect any Thunder Waves from Calyrex, just allowing it to set up. And with the Friend Guard and the -1 special attack on Elise's side, it looks like this Volcarona is not going to be doing anything impactful.
Not really, but at the same time, you have to wonder if a Follow Me comes out and fails, you could, in theory, be at the mercy of a Thunder Wave into your Calyrex.
Right, so at least had to go for that Thunder Wave. Hopefully, we'll see if it pays off. But we see the Volcarona switch out into
the Urshifu.
So we see Urshifu for the first time.
This is very interesting because it is the Choice Scarf, and also Matt is opting to activate his Terra Orb here, and suddenly Urshifu on Elise's side has access to Poison Jab, a super effective move on now the Clefairy and the Calyrex.
Right. So we see the Follow Me does not fail, and we see that
It's a light screen on the Grimmsnarl here. That is very good. However, Calyrex goes for the Calm Mind, and it's now a +1 special attack, +1 special defense. But again, there is a poison type move potentially on the battlefield.
right. We'll have to see if that does more damage than a. We'll have to see if that does more damage than a Surging Strikes, but you know, we see the Grimmsnarl switch out.
And go into the Volcarona once again, just resetting the special attack drop here. Clefairy couldn't move. The paralysis comes into effect here, and the Urshifu goes for the super effective poison jab into the Calyrex. Shadow Rider, does it get the poison? It
Yeah,
does!
it does.
Oh my god, that's massive. Now Calyrex is taking big damage after every turn, and even through this Draining Kiss, which goes into the Urshifu and actually knocks it out with that +1 on the Terra Fairy and brings it back up to full health, not allowing the poison to activate the Citrus Berry, but more importantly, it gets a special attack boost.
Right, this is just an excellent turn from Matt. Sometimes you have to really think about if those non-super same type attack bonus moves are worth running. Maybe Surging Strikes would have been a better payoff. It depends on what Elise's strategy was.
It really does, because now we do see Terapagos is out onto the field. 5 more turns of Light Screen by virtue of that Light Clay, but this is the last turn of Tailwind.
Right, so if Volcarona needs to be able to survive for another turn, if another Tailwind can be set up, but we see that Terapagos is out on Elise's side, and we see the switch out from Clefairy. It will be interesting to see what Elise decides to go for.
It really will be, because we do see Incineroar come back out onto the field for Matt, and Terapagos will have its attack lowered, but not its special attack. And also, Elise is activating the Terra Orb once again.
Right. Now, this could be maybe a combination of super effective Terra Starstorm and Poison will be able to knock out this Calyrex, but with the Citrus Berry, it doesn't seem very likely. We'll have to see what happens. So, Smart Protect on Calyrex. Terra Starstorm doing okay damage.
It's gonna do good damage onto this Incineroar here, and it might bring it down once again to under 50% health, might be even under 40%.
Oh, okay.
Or even get it close to under 20% health, but in comes the Heat Wave that Calyrex protects itself from. And how much damage will it do to the Incineroar here?
Not enough.
Not enough, but there's the poison. And
Right.
now Elise is in a very interesting position here, because if she takes the fake out on Terapagos and leaves Volcarona out there, Volcarona goes down to an Astral Barrage.
Yeah, this is just looking very unfortunate, with Volcarona not having enough health to be able to probably hang on to this Astral Barrage.
Unfortunately, it will not here, as Volcarona goes down to that Astral Barrage, once again proving how healthy that move is.
Absolutely. And Calyrex Shell getting another Grenade boost. Now, with the Terra Shell broken and Draining Kiss's same type attack bonus from this Terra Fairy, it looks like Terapagos is not going to be in a very good position.
Not really, but at the same time, we have to also keep in mind, Calyrex is poisoned now. It cannot be paralyzed, so Terapagos will always go after the Calyrex's attack.
Right. Yeah, this is just looking so unfortunate for Elise.
And we do see Incineroar switch out here, and once again bringing out that Clefairy to activate the Friend Guard. So now we'll see how much damage it does with the Friend Guard here, because there's the Draining Kiss. It's +3 Terra Fairy with the Grimmsnarl, and Grimmsnarl goes down even with the light screen on Calyrex going back up to full HP.
Right, and now this is a very strong Calyrex now, getting so many boosts from that Grimnay, and Terapagos is the only thing left for Elise. So this is, it looks like it's just a matter of time
It really does, but in comes this Terra Starstorm with the Friend Guard activated, and it brings it still down under 50%, but activates the Citrus Berry.
Right, this is looking like a helping hand plus draining his situation, but we'll have to see.
And if it did that much to Grimmsnarl, I wonder how much it's going to do to Terrapagos.
Well, it's not super effective, but...
It's not super effective, but it still will do big damage and bring Calyrex back up to full HP, most likely.
Right, yeah, this is going to do so much damage.
And here comes the Draining Kiss in a Terrapagos, +4 helping hand, well over 50%. But again, Calyrex just gets back up to 50, to full HP here. And in comes that Terra Starstorm once again. It will take out the Clefairy finally, but it won't take out that the Calyrex unless it was a critical hit.
Right, and I think that's what Elise would need to stay in this game, but it's just not looking like the cards are in her favor.
Unfortunately, it is not, because we do see Urshifu is in the back for Matt, and Urshifu has access to close combat, which is super effective alongside that Calyrex with the Draining Kiss, and it appears as though Terrapagos is going to faint, because in comes a +4 Draining Kiss once again in the Terrapagos. Terrapagos is out of HP. It will go down, and Matt Laughlin with Calyrex Shadow Rider advances to 3-0 over Elise Johnson.
Right, but still, it's a fair position for both of them to be in. 3-0 for Matthew is always good going into the rest of the day, and then 2-1 is still, you're still in it.
You're still in it. Like,
Yeah.
There's always an opportunity that at 5-1 you make cut.
Absolutely.
And honestly, Elise played phenomenal in this set.
Right, yes. It's just, I think the adjustments that Matt made game 3 were just very influential.
And he also identified Thundurus was not a good break in any of these games. It was nice to attempt it with the Eerie Impulses and the Thunder Waves, but it just wasn't doing enough to really cinch in for him to bring it and just keep on clicking Eerie Impulse, because it was still doing big damage with the -2 and -3 special attack.
Right, yes. I just think that Matt correctly identified what he needed to change, what pieces he needed to adjust.
The other thing is, though, we did not see Rillaboom on Matthew's side. We did not see Flutterman on Elise's side.
Right, and maybe there's a reason for that. I mean, unlike Austin's Terra Normal Fluttermane, we did not get to this Fluttermane's Terra Fairy. Maybe that might have been what it needed, what Elise needed to make it through the set, but overall, I think both of the choices were fair.
I agree with that, because Taunt would have definitely shut down the Clefairy with it having only 4 support moves.
Yes, definitely think so, and also dealing with that Urshifu, maybe Icy Wind, getting Icy Wind off, so
to break the Focus Sash and get speed control on Calyrex.
Right, yes, and maybe getting into the position where Terra Starstorm will be able to knock out, getting more opportunities for Terrapagos to kind of go crazy on the opponent's team. But very interesting, a very well played set by both of them. It's always nice to see two strong Florida players really just give it all they got.
Exactly, and congratulations to Matthew Laughlin on advancing to 3-0 here at the Versus Games League Cup in Oviedo, Florida. We're going to take a short break, ladies and gentlemen, and we will be back with round number 4.